everybody, this is John. Welcome to the free video. And what is going to go on in these markets? They've been pretty crazy. I think for perma-bulls, one of the big things to be careful of is that Apple has released a squeeze to the downside. Okay, that obviously has big implications. Another thing, just to kind of look at here, is that the skew. I mean, essentially how this works is on the skew. If the skew gets up here around 130 or 130, especially 135, look for the markets to fall. Right now we're kind of right in no man's land, and this is in no man's land. So there's not an edge here whether this is going to pop higher or go lower. Okay, so that kind of increases caution right now. And the idea that there's an advantage to kind of standing back with a little bit of cash and ready to strike while the iron's hot. Okay, we'll talk more about that here in a second. For Amazon, here, this is one that I like. It kind of tends to ignore what the rest of the markets are doing. I like how it is holding up here. This is something, to me, is an easy income trade looking at selling puts. One stock that had earnings today, Alibaba, maybe it's in the morning. This thing has been this is one I've been watching. We've had problems that have come out of China, obviously, with their talk of keeping their currency down. I wanted to see how this was going to impact earnings there. That's part of what's happening to Apple too, because 16% of their sales are from China, so that's not helping them out anymore either. And then the other stock here, and again, the stocks here that you want to pay attention to are the ones that don't care about the markets. The other one like that, of course, that's setting up is Google, and I'm looking for some continued upside from Google as well. Okay, and then two other quick things here. First of all, oil. Keep in mind, oil here is getting crushed. I am looking for it to go to, believe it or not, $31 to $33, and I think this is going to cause some panic in the financial arena. And then we want to keep an eye on bonds, i.e. TLT, to see if it gets through this kind of trend line here. Okay, so this market has changed. This market is very different, and let's take a look at that. So one of the big things I found in this market, I mean, I kind of went back and, the last couple of weeks I've taken some time off of trading. I got to review my statements, see what's working, what's not. And the most money I've made trading this year has been in these quicker moves, okay, these big pops like this, not trying to catch entire moves. It's been kind of those quicker kind of layup trades. And I figured this out by just reviewing my trades. And you can see that essentially most of my profits this year have come from kind of a handful of stocks. But more importantly, when I dug into those stocks and looked at the setups all had these same characteristics, okay? And first of all, the trades actually worked out almost right away. Most of them weren't extended runs. They were kind of quick hits. And then they actually had some common characteristics that I hadn't noticed before, but I was able to go through and kind of document. So a big part of this was based on where they were in their yearly 20-day and 10-day channels. And typically, if they were within 95% of that, those were the quickest performing, the fastest performing winners. And then another one was that if their intraday volume by 9:30 East Coast time was 100% over what it normally is at 9:30 East Coast time, that became also a big winner. I found this out after the fact, so we had put together an indicator we could actually find this before the fact. And in addition to this, I found some very clean setups, and this is kind of back to where I was using tick charts all the time in the early 2000s. It's kind of coming back to that mode and knowing which tick charts to use to get kind of the cleanest ebbs and flows of the market, because this market is ebbing and flowing violently every day. So long story short, I always like to look at something and say, like, all right, the markets obviously change. The only way to really make money consistently is to, if you're dancing with the markets, is to let the market lead. If you try to lead the market, you're going to get hosed. The markets have changed. These are the setups that have been working the best, and then I'm going to continue to use and want to dive into and just kind of show you what they are so you can do them on your own. So this Saturday, August 25th, from 2 o'clock to 6 o'clock East Coast time, I'm going to be doing a class on all this stuff, all the strategies that are working up now. I call the layup trades, and these are kind of quicker, 1 to 3 days. You're in, you're out. It's more like a surgical precision than anything else. If you're not available for this, kind of short notice, no problem. You can, we'll record this for you. Okay, that's the link right there, simpleroptions.com/layup. Now, a couple of things here. Also, because these kind of strategies that are a little quicker than normal, thought 3 days of live trading would be good as well. So for the Saturday class is $297. If you want to do the 3 days of live trading the following week, which would be the Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, that's going to include the Saturday class, okay? But it's also going to include the indicators, all right? And there's 2 indicators with this. They're both going to be $497 each on the site, the channel percent bar, the intraday volume. Those are just going to be thrown into here. So if you're interested in that, I'm super excited about that because that's an awesome deal. You're going to come in, you're going to get the strategies, you're going to get the tools, and you're going to be good to go. Now, by the way, if you're going to our Vegas seminar in November, you get to do all this for free. So I know some of you have already signed up. If you've been thinking about going to our essentially premier live event, you can go there and let us know, and you get this for free, okay? Otherwise, I would recommend doing the $997. You get the strategies. I'm going to show you how to do it. You're just going to be stuck with me for 3 days during the early morning and afternoon sessions and get the indicators and all the tools that you need to rock this out the rest of the year. All right? Again, simpleroptions.com/layup. You guys have a fantastic evening, trading day. We'll see you at the next update.